making on his behalf for so many days, come back to Nigeria. It's not a crime to be sick. He's an old man, over 70. If he has challenges of health, he should be honest and tell Nigerians, and let's pray with him. If those challenges will not entitle him to continue in office, let him not stay there and hold us to ransom. Honestly.
Well, what would you say to those who think that, look, that this challenges, because when it happened, not that it was the same thing with the President Yaradua, the country rose and addressed the lacuna in the law. And if you felt that there was any such thing now, why is it that lawyers haven't spoken up to put a peg to how long the president can be away for? Insofar as that has not been done, lawyers don't seem to agitate, the Senate seems to be okay with the law. Why should we then keep saying, well, the president should come back? Because if he comes back, stays in Aso Rock, everything keeps going on. Because in the meantime, they say, look, the acting president, many have spoken about the calming and stabilizing effect he's having in different regions. You don't have those explosions about oil facility going on at the moment. And so they think, look, why are we making the mountain out of a molehill?
You know, the challenge we have now is the issue of dual capacity and double loyalty. As long as the president keeps sending those photographs to us, giving us the impression that he's agile, he's well, the expectations of those who are loyal to him is that one day he will resume. And it will be difficult to transfer that loyalty to an acting president. That's the reality. We're human beings. As long as the president keeps superimposing his personality to tell us that I'm coming tomorrow, I can come next tomorrow, my coming is dependent on when the doctor says so, which means in 24 hours he can resume. So it makes it impossible.
They say when the doctors give him the all clear, he will return.
Yeah, so that's uncertainty. That's the uncertainty there, Chamberlain. If we know what is going on, for instance, say, I'm going through a treatment that will take me 4 months. And after that 4 months, I'm supposed to come back for another 1 year and go back for another. Look, we know.
But you say,
and then we're able to relate with that.
You know, when you say that there's this dual loyalty, there's vacuum, the acting president is a figurehead. But 2 days ago, or was it yesterday, when, I don't know if you saw that headline in one of the dailies that said, the acting president has got the clear mandate to go ahead and reshuffle the cabinet and take several other decisions that he deems fit. Isn't that him being in charge?
And that's where you see the issue that we're facing in terms of the crisis of the absence of the president. If you are the acting president with full capacity of the executive powers anticipated under Section 5, you don't need a clearance to be able to reshuffle that cabinet. And that clearance is the issue that we're dealing with.
I'm not sure they said clearance. He's got the backing, support.
That's what you said. Without that backing, which means it won't be done. And a person who is going through treatment, as we are being told, at times it can be inaccessible. At times it can be unavailable.
But the backing could be from political leadership.
So the backing could come from cabals. The backing could be withdrawn from cabal. You remember the drama of the swearing.
We don't know who the backing comes from. It could
this
be
is
from
the reason why
the national chairman of the party.
This is the reason why we shouldn't be in what we are in now, Chamberlain. We should have a situation in which there is certainty of decision making, there is certainty of executive leadership, there is certainty of actions of government affecting the lives of our people. And so we can't wait on body language, we can't wait on backing, we can't wait on speculations.
But who do you think should be more worried about this? Because if the ruling party don't handle it well, Nigerians will eventually decide and say, well, we're sorry, we don't like what you did before, so we vote you out. Should it be them or Nigerians?
We are the people who should be worried. And the reason for that worry is this. If the president were to be around, capacity given to him the way he resumed in 2015 and pursuing an agenda acceptable to the people of Nigeria, look, we expect that in the next 4 years, this country should be way back on its foot in terms of electricity, infrastructure, in terms of good governance, in terms of probity, in terms of the fight against corruption.
But we're just 2 minutes. We're just 2 years. So we're just 2 years into that.
That's where I'm going.
We still have time.
Where we are worried is this. If we continue in this outsourcing of leadership, lack of transparency about the president's state of health, it throws us into confusion. In 2019, where are we going? Can we continue to vote for this president who, though seemingly people seem to trust and believe in, but is not available to implement that trust personally, and is outsourcing those trusts to certain elements within his cabinet? Or do we go back to where we were coming from, the 16 years of nonsense, as we have seen, as we saw in 2015? That is the dilemma Nigerians are having.
But how can they have that dilemma when they're not sure of who will be the candidate for the party when 2019 comes.
We are sure now. The chairman of the All Progressive Congress says that the president will still run in 2019.
Yeah, but
he said that.
But
and then he has opened his campaign office.
They have to have their convention. They have to have all those elective positions in the party. Until that is done, can we rely on the comments of the chairman, who is expressing perhaps his impression of what he thinks?
Well, the comment of a chairman of a party is the opinion of the party.
But not the law of the party.
Well, from what we have seen in APC now, that organization is not a political party. It has no structure.
You mean the APC is not a political party?
Oh, yes.
What could it be then?
It's only a political party in terms of registration and carrying certificate of registration. But in terms of structure, the APC is not a party. The leader of the APC in the National Assembly, which is the chairman of the National Assembly, Dr. Bukola Saraki, just lampooned the chairman of APC some 3 days ago and called him a dictator. And then you see an APC that has a chairman and then has a national leader.
But does this translate into a structureless party?
It's structureless in the sense that, for instance, since APC took over power in 2015, there's been no convention. And the reason is because there's so much crisis in the party, it will explode. Since APC took over leadership in 2015, there's been no structure that will tell you this is our agenda, which will be implemented by either the president or state governors. Everybody is running his own government.
Let's wind down with this. Do you think that there is anything that the leadership of this government can do that is not being done now, that can be done or will be done when the president comes back?
No, it's not when the president comes back. Today, before the end of this day, this 15th day of August 2017, whatever is left of that organization called APC should gather together and get the president to address us, to tell us what is going through. After that, the acting president, in his capacity as the executive leader of this country, should transparently communicate to Nigerians what is expectation of our people concerning the resumption of the president. We can't continue in this Photoshop of today London, and next tomorrow another video. We surely can't do that, sir.
We appreciate your comment on this morning, Mr. Ebonlu Adegborowa, a legal practitioner. We're back in a moment. Thank you. Away.